Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really fascinating player in this crazy fast AI world, MiniMax. Their mission is, pretty huge, intelligence with everyone.
Oh,
And for this deep dive, we're looking directly at their official website, but also their GitHub presence, which, gives us this interesting view of both the public story and the tech underneath. So our goal today, let's try to unpack what MiniMax actually means by their new generation full stack, self-developed model family. We want to explore their main products and really get a handle on how they plan to put these powerful AI tools in, everyone's hands. Now, when we hear full stack in AI, that feels like a big claim. What does that actually signify? Why is that important?
yeah, that's a really crucial point. Full stack here means MiniMax isn't just, sticking to one area like text generation. They're actually building models across a whole spectrum of AI stuff. Text, sure, but also video, speech, and importantly, making them work together. Kind of holistic approach. It suggests they want to control that whole creation pipeline, right from the basic research up to the apps people use.
And why does that matter for a developer?
Well, think about it. If you're building something with AI, it means potentially less hassle. Instead of trying to stitch together different tools from different companies, you might get this cohesive system where everything's sort of designed to play nicely together.
Right, integrated.
Exactly. It's a bet on integration offering a smoother, maybe even more powerful experience.
That sounds like a massive job, though, tackling all those different areas.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's maybe zoom in on their text models first. The big one seems to be the MiniMax M1 text model, and the descriptions we found use some pretty bold language. Global leading, 80K coot length by 1M token input, and top-tier model performance. Okay, 80K coot length, 1M token input. Those sound impressive, but they're quite technical. For listeners maybe not deep in LLMs, can you break down what those numbers really mean? What can the model do?
For sure. So COAT is chain of thought. An 80K coot length basically means the M1 model can handle incredibly long and complex reasoning processes. Think of it like thinking out loud for thousands and thousands of steps to solve a problem. It's not just about long answers, it's about deep, sustained thinking.
Okay, complex reasoning.
Right. And then you pair that with the 1M token input. That's a huge context window. It means the model can take in and remember a massive amount of information all at once.
Right.
Like it could read a whole book or a big chunk of code or lots of documents and keep all that context in mind.
1 million tokens, wow.
Yeah, and that combination is what lets it achieve that top-tier model performance on really complex tasks. What's also really interesting, technically speaking, is they call it the world's first open-weight, large-scale, hybrid attention reasoning model.
Open weight, that jumps out.
It does. It's a big strategic choice. Making the weights available, you can find it on their GitHub as MiniMax M1, means researchers and developers can really dig in and build on it. But it also means competitors can see their core tech. So MiniMax seems to be betting on, community building and getting widespread use rather than keeping it all locked down.
Interesting strategy.
And this focus on the architecture, it carries over. They have another repo, MiniMax01, which has their MiniMax Text 01 and a vision language model, MiniMax VL01, both apparently based on something called linear attention.
Linear attention. Okay, that's another term that pops up a lot. Can you give us the quick version? Why is that important for a model trying to handle like 1 million tokens?
Yeah, good question. So the standard attention mechanism in LLMs, it gets really computationally heavy, really expensive as your input gets bigger and bigger.
Right.
Linear attention is basically a clever architectural trick to make that process much more efficient, especially when you're dealing with those huge context windows, like 1M tokens. It lets them scale these models up without the computing cost becoming totally insane. It's key for their whole full-stack multimodal plan. Efficiency is critical.
Got it. Make total sense. Efficiency at that scale is everything. Okay, so moving beyond text, their visual AI stuff, the video model sounds pretty wild too. The MiniMax Hailuo 02 video model, It boasts native 1080p, SOTA instruction following, and extreme physics mastery. What's the story here? What leaps are they making in video generation?
This Hailuo 002 model, it feels like a really significant step for AI video. Native 1080p is your baseline, right?
Yeah,
High def output, you need that for anything serious.
sure.
But the really exciting parts are SOTA instruction following. SOTA meaning state of the art. This suggests you can give it really detailed instructions, like not just a cat chasing a ball, but a fluffy ginger cat chasing a blue ball across a wooden floor, then knocking over a small vase.
Whoa, really specific control.
Exactly. That level of granular control is what creators need to move beyond just generating random clips to actually directing a scene or a narrative.
And the extreme physics mastery.
That's about realism. It means the generated videos don't just look okay, they feel right. Objects move, bounce, fall, interact in ways that follow the laws of physics. You avoid that weird, uncanny, floaty look you sometimes see in AI video. Imagine needing an ad where a product drops realistically or simulating something for engineering.
Yeah, believable motion is key.
Crucial for making content that's genuinely usable, not just a novelty. So it's not just generating video, it's generating believable and controllable video.
Huge difference. Okay, and then there's audio. The MiniMax Speech A2 audio model described as intrinsic zero shot and pioneering a new era of AI speech generation. What's the breakthrough with zero shot?
It's pretty amazing, actually. Zero shot here means the model can generate new voices or speaking styles without needing lots of specific training data for each new voice.
So no need for hours of recordings.
Potentially, yeah. Instead of needing extensive samples, a zero-shot model might create a totally new voice just from a description, or maybe clone a voice from just a tiny snippet, like a few seconds.
Wow.
It's genuinely revolutionary for making speech synthesis sound incredibly lifelike, allowing for really sophisticated voice cloning. Think about personalization, generating audio on the fly. It opens up a lot. And for developers looking into this, they actually have an audio tools repository on GitHub with utilities for text audio stuff.
Okay. So MiniMax is building the really powerful foundation models, text, video, audio, pushing the limits on each. But how does this translate? What does it mean for developers, for everyday users? How does intelligence with everyone become, real? What's the bridge?
Right. That's where their focus on accessibility really shows. It's not just about the models in the lab, it's about building the ecosystem around them.
Right?
And a key piece of that seems to be the MiniMax MCP server.
MCP?
Stands for Model Context Protocol. Think of it as like a central switchboard, a hub for developers. It lets them easily tap into MiniMax's APIs for all the things we've talked about: image generation, video, speech, voice cloning.
Ah, the practical interface.
Exactly. And they back this up on GitHub. You can find the MiniMax MCP repo and even MiniMax MCP.js, which is a JavaScript version. Providing tools like that down to specific coding languages shows they're serious about getting developers to actually use their models in different applications.
Makes sense. So beyond the tech and the APIs for developers, they also have a set of what they call AI native applications. These sound like the direct consumer or maybe direct business offerings. What have they got in that suite?
Yeah, these apps are where you really see the intelligence with everyone mission come to life. First up, MiniMax Chat, positioned as your ultimate AI partner. This is probably their main chatbot using their M1 model, aiming to be that go-to AI assistant.
Okay, standard but likely powerful.
Then there's MiniMax Agent. The tagline is, minimize effort, maximize intelligence. Sounds like it's aimed at automation, maybe taking on more complex tasks for the user. For video, naturally there's Hailuo Video, your stories amplified by AI.
Yeah.
Lets people directly use those video generation capabilities we talked about. And they also mention a new Hailuo video agent for something called vibe videoing with zero touch.
Vibe videoing with zero touch. That's catchy. What do you think vibe videoing means and zero touch?
It sounds like a really automated style-focused way to create video. Vibe videoing probably means you give it a mood, a theme, maybe some keywords, the overall vibe you want.
Right?
And zero touch suggests that the AI does most of the heavy lifting. It handles the shots, the cuts, maybe even picks music, all based on that vibe, with very little fiddling from the user.
So turning an ID into a polished video super easily.
Pretty much almost skipping the whole editing process for certain kinds of content.
That could really speed things up for creators.
Definitely. Then for audio, there's MiniMax Audio, logically for creating lifelike speech, making their speech tech accessible. And finally, one called Talkie. Tagline, create characters you've imagined. Yeah, this sounds like it could be multimodal, maybe generating AI characters with unique voices from the speech model, distinct personalities from the text model, maybe even visual looks, kind of like creating your own AI companions or interactive characters.
That's quite a range of applications.
It really shows how they're trying to leverage their whole stack of models in practical ways.
And you mentioned GitHub earlier. There's actually an awesome MiniMax integrations repository too. It collects examples of how developers are already using these APIs for text, vision, speech.
Exactly. That's like real-world proof that people are plugging into their ecosystem. It shows the developer tools are working and adoption is happening.
It really drives home that accessibility point.
It does. And speaking of GitHub, it's more than just code repositories. It's a window into their thinking and community engagement.
Yeah, I noticed they have like 1.9K followers there, links to X, Hugging Face, seem pretty engaged with the wider AI world.
Absolutely. Those links, the followers, they signal they want to be part of the conversation, build a community.
Mm-hmm.
And looking beyond the main model repos, like MiniMax M1, that OpenWeight 01, and MiniMax O1, with its linear attention models, you find some really interesting research projects listed too. Stuff like 1RL to see them all.
What's that?
It's focused on visual triple unified reinforcement learning. Sounds pretty advanced, hinting at AI learning complex things just by watching.
Okay.
And another one, SynLogic, is about synthesizing verifiable reasoning data.
Mm-hmm.
That ties back to the M1's reasoning capabilities. They're actively researching how to make AI reasoning more logical and checkable.
So deep research alongside the products.
Right. And even the languages they use, most Python obviously, but also TypeScript and HTML, show they're working across the board from core AI to web apps. The topics tagged on their repos nail it down. Large language models, text-to-speech, LM, VLM, it's all consistent with that full-stack multimodal vision.
Yeah, it really paints a picture. This mix of, advanced research, opening up some key tech, building developer tools, and releasing actual apps. It really feels like they're trying to make intelligence with everyone happen operationally, not just as a slogan.
Precisely. It seems baked into how they're structured.
So let's recap. We've journeyed through MiniMax's world, these powerful full-stack models like M1 for text, Hailuozu 02 for video, Speecho T2 for audio. We've seen their developer focus with the MCP server and the APIs.
Yeah.
And we've looked at their suite of AI native apps like MiniMax Chat, Hailuozu, Video, Talkie. It's quite the ecosystem.
It really is. And if you zoom out, MiniMax feels like a prime example of this major trend in AI right now.
Yeah.
The shift towards these comprehensive integrated platforms that handle multiple modalities, text, vision, audio, all working together.
Mm-hmm.
Their whole approach isn't just about having the best single model, but about making the whole package accessible and useful in the real world. That dual focus core R&D plus practical application, plus that interesting open weight strategy with M1, it's a powerful mix. It positions them as a really significant player.
So thinking about our listeners, what does this all mean for you trying to keep up with AI? Well, MiniMax's approach, this full stack idea, it could genuinely change how we all interact with AI and how new AI tools get built. It suggests a future where powerful AI isn't just for the tech giants or expert coders, but woven more seamlessly into tools everyone can use. Maybe less like using a specific AI tool and more like having an integrated AI partner.
Yeah, making it more intuitive, more embedded.
Exactly. So, for your own further thinking, here's a question to chew on. How might the rise of these full stack AI companies like MiniMax, offering everything from the foundational models, the developer tools, the end user apps, even contributing open source pieces, how might that reshape the whole AI industry? Are we moving into an era where these big integrated platforms become dominant, potentially squeezing out companies that only focus on one specialized piece of the puzzle? What does that competition look like, and how fast could it accelerate innovation